I think that the people of Hawaii especially, and the people of the world, but I really want to speak to the people of Hawaii. We need to look at ourselves and remember who we are. It's so easy to forget. It's so easy to buy in, even when something bad is forced down our throats. We end up buying it, right? I'm in a situation right now where I could end up houseless, right? And now I'm in a situation where I'm looking and seeing, can I afford to rent a place?
Right.
Can I afford to maybe buy a piece of land and live in a tent on it? Those things happen, right? And for other people, they go through similar things, where they need to survive. And the means to survive in a Kanaka way have been taken away from us. And in a human way, those have been taken away from us. And so therefore, we come to presume that the only way to survive is to buy a whole lot of bullshit. And that is what is taking place right here. People complain because there's a protest going on. People complain when their view is blocked by police who are harassing people. The presumption is that this harassment needs to take place, that the wrongs that are being protested in the first place need to take place. That is the fundamental problem. So in this particular hearing, they may have passed Bill 7, which criminalizes displaced persons. I no longer even really want to call them houseless, because you know what? A tent is a house. And who's to say that that's no better of a house than a mansion in Kahala? Who's to say that? They are displaced persons. They belong somewhere and they can't be there. Why? There's a reason for that. It's greed, it's exploitation, it's abuse of power. Those are the reasons that you have people lying on the street, people with nothing over their head, people who are an inconvenience and an eyesore. That's the reason that you have those things, because those people have been displaced. Kanaka have been displaced, and people all around the world have been displaced. We have brothers and sisters, Micronesian brothers and sisters, some of whom encamped with me at our Kanawai Mamalahoi encampment in Waikiki, who have been displaced by nuclear testing. Other people are displaced by simple exploitation, generations and generations of exploitation in which there is no place that they can join and that they can be a part of in order to get their basic needs. Food, good food, real food, housing, real housing, land that they can plant on, those basic human needs, education. When those are not present, sure, you're going to get people who are messed up. Sure, you're going to get people on drugs. Sure, you're going to get people on the street. Those are displaced people. And I think that we need to recognize that that is what's going on. So what has just passed up here is an effort to displace them further, to displace them so much that they're going to put them in jails and they're going to charge everybody else for them. And you know what? That is going to work in their favor, in that greater cost means greater investment. Right?
That's interesting.
I play in a band, and one thing they always say is that, don't do a free concert, do a $5 concert, right? Because people will think that a $5 show is more valuable than a free show. More people will come to something that you have to pay money for. And in this case, what they are going to do to you is they are going to take these people They're going to charge them money that they don't have. They're going to put them in jail, and then they are going to charge you for the cost of keeping them there, which I'll tell you right now is a whole lot more expensive than housing them in the first place, than fixing the abandoned buildings that are everywhere, that this island is littered with like trash. That's what, the abandoned lots that need malama aina. No, they're not going to let those people go out and live there and farm there and plant there and grow food for the people. No, instead, they're going to criminalize them, turn them into homeless, charge them money. They're not going to have the money. We all know they don't have the money. Hello. When they don't have the money, the alternative is jail. So what has just passed right here is an effort to put people in jail. Not only is that breaking a constitutional law of the occupying government of the United States of America, it is breaking two very fundamental laws that we all should know about. One of those is Kanawai Mamalahoy, and hopefully everyone's heard about that already. The law of the splintered paddle, which was decreed after Kamehameha, who's known as the strongest chief in history practically, was conked on the head by an ordinary fisherman who only had a paddle to defend himself. And Kamehameha had to say, you know, I was wrong, that guy was right, after he was conked on the head, because I was abusing him. And you know what? I gotta disclose something. While I think Kanawai Mamalahoy is a great law, I'm not actually a huge Kamehameha fan. Okay? Sorry to say. Much respect and aloha. He had great wisdom in that. But I must say that it wasn't only due to great wisdom and foresight, it was also due to the knowledge that that man was a strategist, and he knew that the true law of this land is if you are an abusive chief, the people will take you down. They will take you down, and that is the law of this land, of Hawaii. Look it up. It's happened time and time and time again. The only ability to rule is given by the people, and not by those people who are sold out, who are acting in fear, who are concerned about their job security and, you know, their home equity value. No, we're talking about the people of the land, the Maka'ainana, and displaced Maka'ainana would be a very serious problem. That leads me to law number 2 that we should take into account, and that came before Kanawai Mamalahoy, and that is the Ni'aupio Kolowalu of Kuali'i, who lived in the 1700s, throughout the entire 1600s. He was born in the 1500s, ruled through the entire 1600s, and died in the mid-1700s. You know, this was a very old, strong chief. And his law was a law for Oahu. And that law says, if there is a person without a house, you must help them. If there is a person who needs food, all that person has to do is to declare the law that is the law, if it comes down to that, and it shouldn't. Because the law is, if there is a person who is hungry and a person is made with food, is made known of his hunger, he shall be fed. Man, woman, child, elderly, poor, it doesn't matter. If you have food and somebody else doesn't, you feed them. You know, that is the law of this land, and it was under penalty of death. So, because of that, I want to, I should say that it's a little complicated. It's not direct penalty of death, but penalty that it would be whatever that person asked for would be forfeit to that person. And it would be backed up to the point that if it came down to it, you know, that you would rather forfeit your life than your food, because that's that's how strongly people felt about the need to protect one another and take care of one another. Anyway, what I'm saying is that what's happening up here is breaking those ancient laws. Those ancient laws have great spiritual protection, and already we know that Kanawai Mamalahoi very specifically says, if you break this law, you will die. In this case, it's not a person breaking the law, it's a government. It's an occupying, illegal, abusive government that is breaking the fundamental law of care for the people, of all people. And according to the Kanawai, this government shall fall. I want everybody to be aware of that. It's not a bad thing. It needs to happen. And I think once all of us can accept in our hearts, this is a dead government. It has no spiritual power other than an illness. You know, it has the spiritual power of an illness. And that's sad, but that's what it is. So what we need to do is we need to start reforming what will be here instead. Follow the ancient laws. Feed people who are hungry. Help people who need help. Take care of one another. Respect those people. If people must lay by the roadside for any reason, Kamehameha didn't say, oh, these people but not these people. BS. For any reason, people who must lay by the roadside are protected, and protect them also. Stand up for those people. We need to stand up. We need to stand together, and we need to stand together with all of our brothers and sisters around the world. Indigenous peoples who are standing up against injustice because all of their lands are occupied too and need to be returned. All of the communal people, the free thinkers, the Occupy movement people, all of them. And speaking of which, let's check it out. I hear
let's
some.
go.
I
and I
some action
see
happening.
Cruz too. So.